Hey guys, it's Denise here. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time seeing my face, hello. I'm Denise. Nice to meet you. If you're a returning viewer, hi, welcome back. Today's video, I wanted to talk about Instapoetry. A lot of people haven't been happy when it comes to Instapoetry just in general. And I've had a lot of thoughts about Instapoetry for a year now, just about. Yeah, just about a year, and I kind of want to share my little insights on it and how I feel about it. So if you're very interested, continue watching. So I changed the angle because I kind of wanted to, because it felt weird where I was at. But long story short, it didn't really get to me about Instapoetry until last year. And then I know a lot of people have made their videos about Instapoetry and how bad they are. And so I try to make sure that I have an open mind and not go about what other people are saying first and read it myself and full-heartedly go at it myself. And so for a while, with my Instapoetry, I stopped posting a lot because I had to take care of life and school and all that stuff, and let alone just making sure that I'm doing okay. This past year, I got back into reading books again after so long because during school, I didn't have time for it anymore as much, which sucked. But getting back into it, there's the good and of course there's the bad. The good, I'm going to say this right now, is that if we didn't have Rupi Kaur, Robert M. Drake, Amanda Lovelace, Lang Leave, and so many more, I don't think poetry would have been as successful. Editing me here. What I mean as in not successful, I should have reworded that to it would have been more well known. I think I'm gonna say in the ongoing clips about being reading a lot of some poetry in high school, not a lot of it, and most of it was Shakespeare to begin with. That's kind of hard a little bit to kind of grasp, especially if you're not really getting what he's trying to say in his poem or in the sonnet. It becomes a little chore, and it's not as enjoyable as you think, because I guess the way that we're taught it. So I wanted to say that to clarify that. So also another thing I'm going to mention right there is that when it comes to the authors that I mentioned as well too, even though poetry is subjective and everything like that, and they're writing their own experiences, and that in itself was very brave of them for coming out and speaking about stuff that they wouldn't usually open up about, because it's never easy. And so putting that on to print is already props. It's just, I feel the way that they execute it is quite questionable. Okay, continuing on. Because when people will think poetry, it shrugs and groans, and it's just not fun to really learn about. In a sense, with them, they brought a new kind of convention to it where other people can understand, at least to the bare minimum. I do gotta give credit where it's due, because like I said, if it wasn't for them, I don't know if poetry would be, in a sense, this popular. The cons, though, is because of with those writers in particular, is that their work seems just kind of lazy and not much thought, and it kind of pisses me off. Because yeah, I read Milk and Honey 3 years later. There was a lot that could have been worked on. I mean, there was a lot of poems that she had that were really good potential. They were really good. Kind of wish she elaborated more on a lot of things. But the main thing was throughout the book, half of those poems felt like filler pages. It's oh, I can't come up with anything, let me put this short thing in. And I don't know, that it takes away from the whole purpose of the book. And recently I've been reading a little bit of R.H. Sims and Robert M. Drake. Here's my thing with that. Sometimes I feel a lot of the poetry these days, especially I see this a lot with Robert M. Drake. The issue is that I feel some poems are preachy. I have to make note for myself to not get preachy, because it will sound of just motivational quotes or phrases when it comes to like certain situations. And so I think that's also another issue as well. Might just be me personally, but I don't know how others feel about it as well. There's a lot of things that I've read recently where I have to mark, I'm like, okay, don't be doing this or don't be doing that. Because with my book, Hello Vulnerability, it's on Amazon, eBay, Barnes & Noble, online, all that stuff. While as much as I love that book with a mighty passion, I did fall into the tropes of that when it comes to kind of like filler poems a little bit, but as well with kind of like the preachy-ish tone in a way. And so with my feature writings and stuff now that I've been working on for a while, I just have to make sure that I don't sound like I'm preaching to someone, you know? That's another thing. What also kind of pisses me off is that there are a lot of really good poets out there, even though if it's like they're like into poetry, they know how to execute it well. There's a lot of really good poetry books out there, and most of the time, they're not really that well known. And it makes me mad that just kind of lackluster poems. What I mean by lackluster is that a lot of the mainstream poetry does not give you the feeling that you're supposed to get while reading it. Like, it's supposed to make like a little impact on you. It may impact a lot of other people who like the authors and their books. All power to you. But for people who really love poetry or even went to school to study in creative writing and all that stuff, like there's more behind that. And so that's what I mean when it comes to lackluster. Let's finish this video. I want to do a video for sure on just my favorite poetry books. Be on the lookout for that. But at the end of the day, I know poetry is subjective to everyone. It's a form of art. Maybe there are some things that you consider poetry that I don't really necessarily consider. And that's the mindset that I need to have while like reading different poetry pieces and all that stuff. So kind of wanting to get that out there. I've been wanting to get that out there for a while, but I just didn't know how to like say it. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment down below your thoughts on Instapoetry. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you in the middle? I would like to know. I like to hear comments about that. Make sure you follow my social media. All of that will be in the description below. And make sure you watch my other videos because they're really hard on them. I don't know why I paused there. And that's on the next time. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.